Make a date with Rev Dr Ebenezer Markwei at 6 a.m. from Monday to Saturday on Graphic Online via Facebook and YouTube as he expounds on matters of faith. Graphic Online, truth and accuracy every day.
Hello, this is Rev Dr Ebenezer Markwei of Living Streams International, bringing you matters of faith with Graphic Online. Now, this morning I'd like to capture my thoughts with the word smart greed. Smart greed. The Bible is full of stories that are very, very interesting, but they hold very powerful principles for us. For example, God spoke to Abraham and told Abraham, leave Ur of the Chaldees and leave family, leave everybody to a place I'll show you. And God said, look, Abraham, my eye is on you, my covenant is with you. And then he told him, it was very specific, leave everybody, leave family, leave kindred, leave brethren. But you know, when Abraham was going, he had a nephew with him, and that nephew, you know, the parents, I guess, were there or something like that. So he said, look, let me just take my nephew along. So Abraham took Lot along. And it was God didn't want him to do that, but he took Lot along. And when he took Lot and they were on the way, when they were going, God began to prosper Abraham, and Lot was also prospering. And Lot's headsmen were prospering, and Abraham's headsmen were prospering. Abraham was very generous. You know, the covenant was with him. The promise was for Abraham. The blessing was Abraham. But you see, by virtue of attachment, by virtue of relationship, Lot was also a beneficiary of the blessings. So the largesse of God for Abraham, Lot became a partaker by virtue of association and by virtue of connection. Now the Bible says there was one time there was a fight between the headsmen of Lot and the headsmen of Abraham. And I was surprised at that whole conversation that went on. It was Abraham who called Lot and told Lot, hey, no. He said, look, we are kinsmen. Why are we allowing these people to bring a fight between the two of us? I personally believe, by principle, it was Lot's responsibility to rebuke his headsmen and say, what are you doing? Don't you dare. Whatever they want, just let them have it. Why? Because I'm a beneficiary of his promise. I'm a beneficiary of his blessing. I'm a beneficiary of, the blessing that God has given to him. So it's also touching me. Now, Lot didn't do that. But Lot watched his headsmen fight with the headsmen of Abraham for grazing grounds. And Abraham called Lot and said, look, let's not fight. We are kinsmen. It shouldn't be. Choose left and I'll go right. Choose north and I'll go south. He said, the land is big for all of us. Hey, choose any place and I'll go to the opposite direction. Now here's my principle number 2. It is the responsibility of Lot to say, Papa, I beg you, please choose. And whatever you choose, the rest I'll take. That was Lot's responsibility, out of respect. But the Bible said when Abraham spoke, then Lot looked and saw the plain fields of Zoar and all those going towards Sodom and all, and there were lush fields, and there were nice fields, and there were, the greenery was something else. That was verdant pastures. Verdant pastures. And Lot said, we looked at it and said, my uncle ain't that smart. He should have chosen first. But if he ain't smart enough to ask me to choose, well, let me choose the place where his greed clouded his sense of responsibility. His greed clouded his sense of principles. His greed overshadowed his principles, laid down principles of respect and reverence. His greed made him think that, well, I can be smart. That's what greed does. Greed pushes you to become smart. So where Lot chose, now he towards Sodom, but in the end he landed in Sodom, and he became a gate man, a big man in Sodom. See what happens? He lost everything. Sometimes we think that, greed makes you think that you are better off or you're smart. Greed makes you think along the lines of, I'm smarter than this other person, so I want to outsmart the person. Greed makes you throw away the principles of win-win. Greed makes you throw away the principles of fairness, justice, integrity, and respect. That's what greed does. And sometimes, you never get satisfied, and you keep gouging yourself on the plate of greed. If you gouging yourself on the plate of greed, until you end up losing everything. I'll tell the story of a kinky party, a kinky competition where people were asked to eat. And there was one guy who really, he likes kinky, I hear. And then he sunk his teeth into it, and then he was eating the cake. He was eating, man, when he saw that, he just keep gorging himself with it. Then he goes somewhere. After he's sitting somewhere, he becomes very sick and throws out everything. And then they had to be taken to hospital for everything to be removed. He took in a lot, but in the end, he lost everything. That's what Lot did. Greed made him think he was smart, but in the end, he paid a price. Greed doesn't make you smart. To be honest with you, and with all due respect, greed makes you stupid. And in the end, you pay a price for the greed. So you know what? The choices are always yours. I guess so. See you later.